Well, Texas versus Texas A&M. You know, I said in my preview video for this game, some things Texas could do to keep it close. Um, One of the things was that I didn't know. I said I didn't know what to do with their defense. That I was hoping that they'd just sort of rise to the occasion. The defense was the seniors being senior night, trying to make themselves bowl eligible, and they kind of did. Our defense, pass defense. Let's rephrase that. Our pass defense played amazing. We knew coming into the year we had one of the best secondaries. We didn't know what to think about our run defense. And our run defense has been at the top of the nation almost all year. One of the top, I should say. But today we just let Cyrus Gray run all over us. He ran up the middle, he ran to the outside, and that's fine because we kind of made them one-dimensional. They weren't really passing the ball well. And so that's one reason why we were still in the game. Another reason, I've said this all year long, and I don't want to just sound repetitive, like I don't know anything about football because I can only bring up one point about why Texas is failing so badly on offense. But what do they not get about running Cody Johnson? I mean, seriously. The guy had an amazing game. Gilbert threw 2 interceptions, 17 incompletions, only 200 yards. Some just dreadful stat. 219 here as I look at the stats. Ugh. He just played a terrible game. He had a couple nice passes here and there, but even when Gilbert is on a roll, you're just kind of waiting for the ball to drop, the chips to fall. You're just waiting on his failure because you know he's not that good. Now this team needs a lot more work than Gilbert. Gilbert needs to do a lot of work in the offseason. That's evident. But so do the receivers, and so does the offensive line. I think the offensive line is going to be good in the future. They can already run block well. For the most part. Well, if they're running straight up the middle with Cody Johnson, they do a good job run blocking. He'll find his hole and he'll barrel through it. And even if there's not a hole created, he'll move the pile to get at least a yard or two, at the very least. Gilbert needs work. Offensive line needs a little bit of work. They're going to be good. They're pretty young, and defense needs a lot of work. And I thought it was interesting. Last night, I was watching Oregon and Arizona State before it got real bad. And it's on the bottom line, Mac Brown, or breaking news, Mac Brown says he's ready to reevaluate both players and the coaching staff. So what does that mean? That means he's ready to fire some coaches and get rid of some players. That's what that means. It's a nice way of saying that he's getting ready to go loose cannon because Texas doesn't have losing seasons, and when they do, stuff needs to be changed. In this case, I think it really just needs. He maybe just needs to have a nice stern conversation with Greg Davis and before I get into anything about that, and he needs to try to make some players want to win games. Try to get some heart and hustle into some players. Gilbert's been the one guy all season, other than Cody Johnson, in my opinion, who just looks like he wants to win. And today he didn't really even look like that. He threw the interception. Yeah, he was irritated and all that, but he still didn't look like he wanted to win. Didn't look like he wanted that. But here it is. Cody Johnson averaged 7.6 yards a carry today. And we went on 2 drives in which we could have gone and tied this game up and gone into overtime. Both times, Cody Johnson, both drives combined, he had 1 carry, and that was out of the shotgun. Think of what in all these A&M fans commenting on my video saying you can't wear down a wrecking crew defense even if you run Cody Johnson 50 times. he won't get 100 yards and you won't wear down our defense. What happened? He got 14 carries and broke 100 yards. If you run him 6 more times, think of what happens. If you run him just 4 times on that last drive you won, you're inside the 20, Gilbert throws an interception. Why are you throwing? Why are you throwing? And even more than that, you've got guys averaging 7 yards a carry. Hand freaking ball off to him, would you please? Texas wants a run. Texas keeps complaining that they don't have a running back who can just run this offense. You've got him right there. How do you think that? I would just love to know the thoughts going through Cody Johnson's mind as he's dominating this A&M defense that no one, the wrecking crew defense that no one's going to be able to do anything against. What? Cody Johnson needs to take all the handoffs next year. Whitaker, yeah, sure. Take all the handoffs out of the shotgun you want with Whitaker. And Newton, I don't even think we need Newton. And if we have him, sure, he'll be the relief back for Cody Johnson. But Johnson needs to be getting 20 yards or 20 carries a game next year. Because why? He's the one guy who fights no matter what. This game, there were times when it looked like he was going to go down, and he just kept his feet rolling, pick up an extra 3 or 4 yards. One time, hand the ball to him inside the 10-yard line there in the third quarter. This was right after we forced, or we didn't force, it just happened. Right after A&M muffed the punt. I think it was a muffed punt, but either way, Samacho recovered some sort of fumble. Texas gets a passing play, gets inside the 10, hand off to Cody Johnson. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage. At the 6-yard line. The 6-yard line. And he drives and drives that pile. And falls down at the 1. But not just the 1, but he's so close that the quarterback sneak just goes in. This wasn't a long yard. That means he drove that pile 6 full yards before going down. That's the kind of heart and hustle we're looking for. Cody Johnson has shown this his entire career. Yet we refuse on here that we have a lack of heart, lack of desire to win. We refuse to play him and refuse to run him. The 2 games where he's gotten a fairly significant amount of carries this year, what's happened? 3 games actually. Florida Atlantic broke 100 yards. Against Nebraska carried our running game, and then here today broke 100 yards again for just the 2nd time in his career. Wow. Hopefully this is just a wake-up call. We're not going to make a bowl game, so we won't be able to see anything from that. But I think this team will be better next year after this kind of season, but we just need to run Cody Johnson, and hopefully, at this point, I'm really kind of hoping that we don't go with a spread offense next year, because I don't know if Gilbert can run it. That comeback in the championship game, which was what I was basing all my information on Gilbert off of. I thought he was going to be much better. That was Jordan Shipley's comeback, and I already sort of knew that, but I thought, yeah, well, he's still throwing nice passes out there to get Shipley the ball. Well, that was last year. This is this year. And next year, I think it's going to be a different story. I think we're going to be a lot better. Because our season is over now. But we'll see how he responds, Is he going to look at it as the fact that he was the first player in 13 years to send Texas to a losing season? Or is he going to think of it as, something else? I don't know how else you could look at this if you're a Texas player on this team and you send Texas to a losing season. It's not just Gilbert. It's a team effort when you lose. It's a team effort when you win. But, is he going to look at this as just another learning experience like he said the championship game was, and he's just going to try to bounce back? Or is he just going to have a complete debacle and, fall apart? I don't know. But I think we'll be back next year, especially if we run Cody Johnson. Hook 'em horns.